Alrighty.
My headphones broke.
Oh no!
My my the ear that has the mic on it is just kind of hanging on my ear at this point. I need some tape, but I don't know where to find it. Hmm. Well, I guess I gotta go. Good thing these headphones are like $40.
Yeah, that's not too bad for headphones. So, Zoe and Ezreal ban. Someone doesn't like Ezreal. I haven't seen Ezreal ban in a while since he got nerfed.
It's gonna be a Kane ban, as we saw from last game. Kane kind of being a nuisance.
Yeah, no One Tooth in this game, so we don't have to see the Katarina ban this game.
One Tooth got out.
Yeah,
He escaped.
I wonder if he's gonna be in the other game or if he got off. But looks like we are also getting the Xin Zhao ban. Xin Zhao has been targeted recently. He's been he's been pretty strong. But
Yeah, he Riot kind of rewarded the kind of blast cannon that people liked going on him, and he's really just one-shotting with damage reduction. It's ridiculous. There's a Shyvana ban, which I've been seeing a lot in ranked. She's very strong. Her clear is very fast. And as the streamer LS put it, it's a trap. It's a anyone can play jungle if you just play this champion because you don't have to play jungle.
Yep. Actually, the Jax first pick. It's interesting. I wonder if that is Jungle Jax. Also, the LeBlanc ban.
Looking for a late game carry there from that team. Yeah, the LeBlanc ban coming through. She's strong, but I don't know. I don't know if someone on the other team is a LeBlanc player or what's going on.
That's probably just more of a comfort ban. Like, I don't want to play against LeBlanc.
Yeah,
game, I
true.
guess. Actually, Yorick coming out. Yorick is he's interesting because I feel like when I see Yorick, there's no in between. Like they either like are really annoying split push wise and like really can change a game, or they just do nothing.
Yeah, either their Q one shots everyone, or um, their Q doesn't do anything.
Yeah. Also, the Pantheon coming out, so that's gonna be really so far early game heavy on that side. Pantheon is he needs to get going or he's useless.
Oh,
He
absolutely.
either needs to one shot everyone or he's going to jump in and just die every time. But
So what we're thinking is probably a jungle Pantheon there.
yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I can't see the end of that.
We also have the Annie and Zillion coming out, so our local Zillion main actually getting his Zillion, so that'll be interesting to see how that
This is
goes.
we're in for a treat today.
I think he might play his top Zillion too, so actually Yorick is gonna have a really rough lane because Zillion just will slow him and speed himself up, and it'll just be a lot of kiting and never touching the Zillion.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
He's a top lane Zion, correct?
Yep. Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to watch. We also have the Vayne ban coming out, so they don't like playing against Vayne.
Very strong champion right now.
Yeah, you get her three item spike is huge.
3 items, GG.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, if you know how to play Vayne and position well, when you get to 3 items, it's very hard to deal with her. The MF ban actually coming out. Interesting. We haven't seen any bottom laners yet from either team, so it's interesting to see the ADC bans come out, see when neither team really knows what they're playing against yet. And also the Draven ban.
A lot of ADCs being picked out here.
Yeah, Ezreal, Draven, Vayne, MF, all banned already. Really cutting the picking slim. Already the lowest role amount of champions for that role, and you're banning a lot of them out too. So, and the Xayah. Wow. They really don't like ADCs this game.
All of them are gone.
Looks like a Shen pick. If that might be, I'm guessing a Shen support. If he does stick with Shen. He does, so we're gonna see a Shen support most likely. Which is not always great for lane, depending on who you're laning against. Definitely more of a late game pick, because you can ult your carry and just give them a huge shield. But also, the taunt potential for engage is really good if they are proficient with their taunt flashes, which can be really scary. Uh-oh. Ooh, the Sona pick at the last second. Thought that was going to be a dodge coming out. So we also have the Sona pick. So now it's finally onto the ADC. Not many left to choose from. We got Ashe, we got Caitlyn, Sivir, Jhin. Who will it be? It looks like the Caitlyn. So a really poke heavy lane in bottom lane and a very squishy team from Team 1. They've got only one person who goes kind of tanky, and Jax, and even Jax, he is definitely not a true tank. And Sivir coming out as well from the other team, so they're gonna have a lot of scary engage from the. Oh, all right.
What happened?
Actually had a dodge. 1 second. Let me see what's going on.
Jinx, apparently.
It's okay.
What's going on, guys?
We can't type Jinx. What's the problem?
Yeah, I failed to pick the champion that we were trying to pick.
Oh, okay.
human error.
So
It just would have been a shit stomping. I appreciate it.
good to start back up and go over. Are we gonna do
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
bands and stuff, or are you guys just gonna redo stuff?
I'm okay with same bands unless you guys
Yeah.
want to start all over.
Same. Let's just do same.
Same
Same.
bands, that'll work.
All right, I'll go other
That,
teams.
that way it's fair.
All right, guys. So we're gonna do same bands, same picks. Okay? They just or I actually don't know which team messed up picking Jinx, but they just messed up picking Jinx.
Okay.
So same team, same band, same picks. All good?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
All right. Good luck, guys.
Starting game.
Can you hear me?
Right. Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I got my. I found a new setup.
Awesome. So we had a mispick actually, that they did not pick Jinx when they meant to, so they restarted the entire thing. And they're
it
just
looks
gonna
like they're just gonna do the same band, same picks, except
Yep.
for Jinx.
Yep. Same band, same picks going on.
Cool.
So now we have a ton of time to talk about what we were just talking about already.
Absolutely. So I was setting up my my mic and my headphones while this whole thing was going on. But I know there was a Jax and there was a Zillion who actually is a Zillion main who plays him top lane
Mm-hmm.
on the one team, and that's gonna be scary come late game, mid-late game.
Yeah, and actually even early game it's really scary because they are playing the Yorick top lane in any melee against Zillion. Like, you can't do anything if the Zillion plays it right, which he's a Zillion main, so he's definitely going to be playing it well.
Yeah.
It's so hard to play because he just slows you, and as soon as you try to walk up or anything, he's just going to walk away. Like, if this is just going to be a really hard lane for Yorick, and if it's a hard lane for Yorick, it could be a hard game in general because Yorick really needs to get ahead.
And one thing I know is that Yorick is one of the main champions that Vic plays, so this is going to be two mains facing each other.
Gotcha.
The only big difference is that I believe the Zillion is gold and the Yorick is bronze or silver. So it's going to be a big test for Vic to see how he can play the lane.
Yeah.
It's almost a rank game for Vic, so he can really test out his skills.
Yeah, it's also interesting too because sometimes, you know, certain rank to rank you can beat people higher rank than you, especially laning wise. And
Yeah.
maybe we see Zill not play it perfectly in lane, but then you might see him play his champion better throughout the game. So that'll be interesting to watch for how that happens, because that's a big thing. Some people are really good at early game. Like, actually, me personally, part of the reason I play Renekton is because I really thrive on playing early game, and my late game could probably use work. So it's just different aspects of the game people are better at sometimes, even from rank to rank.
Yeah, and as for the junglers, where I usually play, this is going to be a very interesting game because Jax can kind of sit back and wait a little bit, but if he sits back and waits too long, his team can fall pretty far behind.
Hmm.
But Pantheon can't waste any time. He has to get going, or else mid late game's going to come and Jax run him. So I guess we will see the Jinx still coming through.
Did switch to a Leona though instead of a Sona, so that's interesting. But
Yeah, we will see double ignite coming out, as they don't feel like they need to exhaust anyone on the other team. Echo versus Annie mid lane is I think that's a matchup that Echo takes. I think Echo takes most matchups like that. unless anything
yeah,
catch-
I think this is a matchup that hopefully this Echo will realize that he just needs to play aggressive. I think that if
Yeah.
you sit back as Echo and take Q poke from Annie, you're gonna end up getting whittled down and lose. But if you're jumping on her when she's too far forward, she can only stun every 4 abilities in early game. That's quite a few. Like, that takes a while to build up. So I think Echo really needs to play aggressive here and kind of assert his dominance in a way at the start of the game, so that he can have his own lane and not just be pushed under tower constantly.
Because one thing he also has to realize is that this late game is pretty much just going to be him facing off against a Jinx and a Jax, which are not two champions you want to like. Because Pantheon's going to fall off. York, I believe, falls off. I don't know. I don't see York that often, but I
Yeah.
believe he falls off late game. Sivir isn't that great late game, and Shen support. It's going to be either his team gets ahead or it's going to be up to him.
Yeah, Sivir is an interesting one because she's not necessarily a lane bully, but she also doesn't scale insanely well. She scales pretty well. The big thing is her ult is just so useful. And on a team that, except for her, they're all melee, that ult will actually be really important to help Echo, Pantheon, and Shen, and Yorick too, all of them get to the enemy team. So it'll be really up to Zillion and Leona and Jax to kind of keep those big carries off of their Jinx. And if Jinx can get excited and stay alive, like, she'll just tear through that team really fast.
Something else to look at too is CC differential. We got Jack stun, Zillion stun, Annie stun, Leona as a champion. And then on the other team, it's Echo stun, Pantheon stun, Shen taunt. There's not really a whole lot of reliable CC on
Definitely.
the other side. Whereas if Leona can get some good roams, get some good ults off, they can really take this game fast.
Yeah, I think we see a definitely better team fight comp coming from the Leona Zillion team. That's a lot of CC, and Annie, just if she can land a really good Tibbers to stun quite a few people, that could be huge. It will actually be interesting to see how each team does with fighting, because there's not a lot of tankiness on either team. The biggest
No.
tank in the game is Shen, and he's playing support, which means he will not be as tanky. And same with Leona on the other team. Those are the only two true tanks in this game, and they're playing support, which means that they won't have the items to be a true tank. So it'll definitely be interesting. These will be really fast fights, except for the fact that Zillion, he'll have to be quick on the trigger finger with that ult. If he can save someone from something like Pantheon or Echo Burst, he could actually save a team fight really fast.
And that's another thing you have to deal with is late game comes and Jax or Jinx can have 3 lives. You have to kill them 3 times, so
Yep.
they have to be ready for that. Got to see if Echo can dodge all the stuns so he can even get an ult off. A lot of things to look at in this game. But I think looking from a champion select, I do think the Jax team has the edge in this one.
Hmm. Yeah, it's really gonna. I think it's gonna come down to the Pantheon in this game. If Pantheon is really running amok and getting his team ahead early, I think that they can snowball and finish before Jinx gets to a decent place item-wise.
Mhm.
But if Pantheon has a rough time early and we get to a place where Jinx has some items and Zillion has ultimate, it's going to be really hard for them to deal with that in team fights.
So it will be double ignite facing double TP.
Mm-hmm.
We will see if Echo can pull off some nice TP plays to help his bot lane out. We'll see if Annie and Jax and Jinx can snowball.
Yeah, I'd really like to see Echo use his TP a lot this game, because something I see a lot of people do is take TP on AP mid laners because they see like pro players take TP, but
Yeah,
then
but then
as a
they
mid
never use
laner they really don't use it that much. And
Yeah.
even if you end up using it and it's not the absolute best TP, at least you're using it, right? There has to
Mhm.
be, and you have to kind of keep using that to learn when, like, oh, this was a bad time to use it, this was a good time to use it. So I really hope that Echo isn't shy of using his TP, because that's really probably the biggest complaint I have whenever I see AP mid laners take TP.
Yeah, they when you're a mid laner, especially with TP, you have to think of yourself as a second jungler. You have to help out your other lanes. Got to see what's going on. Use your TP. So we'll see a little bit of an invade here. They're going to take the route that was taken in our hashtag Lola Plays montage. We'll see if it works out for them. Jax is actually sitting outside the bush there, and they will run into each other.
And they get the taunt off, but there is other there. It's 5v3 right now. Jax is just going to have to run. He gets his flash out. Doesn't get the last auto to get the 3 block from Echo. They're still getting damage out on Leona. There's the key. She's going to flash out.
So a nice little invade there, gets a double flash from the jungler and the support at the cost of poor Sivir's mana, who takes a hit every time she presses an ability.
Yeah, I definitely a good invade by Red. They're taking a kind of odd route to get to the invade. Most people will just barrel right down the middle, so caught some people out, and hopefully they capitalize on the flashes they took, because if they don't capitalize, then they don't get anything off the advantage they gave themselves.
Alright, so Jax will, after the invade, go straight to his blue and start there, so he'll do a little bit of an upside down clear here. We'll end up at bottom lane. So the junglers will end up on different sides of the map, so we won't see anything as it comes to counter ganks.
I do like the way that Echo has already started playing. He's just been queuing the wave, pushing it up, putting the pressure on Annie. She had to walk up there to queue an auto Echo, so she actually took a little bit of a trade from minions. So good job. I think he's playing that lane the way he needs to.
I think what I usually see out of TP Echoes is they'll go into lane right away, just push it down, get enough for another like starting item like the potions, and then just TP back to lane once they get that and have a small advantage over their laner.
Yep, I definitely think that is the right play as Echo, because level 3, level 4, when you have a stun, when you have that gap closer on your E, you can really threaten, especially someone like Annie, who her only escape is her own flash. You can threaten pretty hard there.
Some good trades going on here in the mid lane. It's going to be Echo getting 1 proc of his Q off on Annie, but Annie's going to get the better of that trade.
Yeah, the one thing is too though, if he just clears waves and isn't, as long as he doesn't die, he can take worse trades and then just teleport back, and it actually looks like he's already looking to do that. So he's already going to be using his teleport here. He's got the Dark Seal and a Pink Ward, and he's coming back to lane.
So one thing I would have liked to see out of Vic, out of the early part of this game is realize that the Jax there's no way he could have known that Jax was going to start topside, but you know that at least he's going to be behind, that your jungler is going to be ahead. So let yourself get pushed in by the Zillion early game, and once you hit 3, that's an easy kill for you. Once the jungler comes up, it's pressing or point and click stun, and then you just put your wall up around him. I definitely would have liked to see him kind of play a little bit more passive in that, to let his jungler have an opportunity to come and gank for him so he can get ahead. Because I don't know, once Zillion is down in lane, I don't know how well he can come back, especially if something's as strong as York once he starts snowball.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, even if Zillion, he doesn't get far enough behind that he's like, he can still be useful in team fights. As York, you're looking for to get strong enough that you can just keep split pushing against the Zillion. If you can keep pushing him in and being a nuisance, like, that's huge. Lots of trading going on in the mid lane. Echo almost got a good trade, but his second Q did not hit.
It's actually a good stun there by Annie, may have saved her life. Vic gonna be caught by the edge of that bomb as he walks back into it. But mid lane's both pretty low. There's a triple gank coming here, and this is gonna be a dead Echo, and that's gonna be first blood going over to Annie.
A nice roam by Leona there. She roamed, and red team did not put on the pressure, so she actually just gets a free roam off there. Jinx just farming and being safe while her support got a good roam off, and now might have an overextension while Leona's coming back. Does get the taunt off, but Leona's there. She does waste her Q on the taunt zone though. Nice job by Shen to lay that down.
So about 5 minutes in, we got our first blood from our third jungler coming in for a gank. As always, the supports playing a big role in this one. It really didn't cost her anything, as Jinx is still ahead in farm, and I believe now had a little bit in experience.
Yeah, I definitely think I didn't get a chance to watch the route that the Leona took, but bot lane red team really should have been capitalizing on Jinx being on her own, because they ended up capitalizing right as Leona came back, and so they're down in farm and they lost pressure in mid because of it. That's a huge loss early game.
And it actually puts the blue team up by about half a K.
About 700 gold here.
Good double bomb there by Zillion. Vic's gonna be caught by the end of that as well.
Actually, a double roam top. Jungler's there, and so is Echo, but Echo getting caught out here. That's a lot of damage from Red Smite Jax.
Zillion's gonna have to flash route. And double bomb almost catches Vic, but Annie stunned well, and that's
ooh, and the Tibbers. Echo running for his life. Yeah, blue team, there was the priority. Their jungler was up there, and Pantheon was actually coming back from base. So you have to be careful coming back, know where your team is. Oh, and the flash by Jax. They kept him there with the auto attack.
I think that was a little bit of a careless back right there. You know the blue team is chasing you, and you don't back under turret and end up getting caught for it, unfortunately. This is going to be a good fight going on down here, and this is going to be a dead Shen, I believe.
It's going
Flash
really
is
low,
used,
but
looks like Sivir can probably get a double kill out of this. Though Leona will flash, flash will not do anything, and it will be a 1-for-1 in the favor of the red team, because now Sivir has free farm.
yeah, so what happened there? A little bit of over chase by Jinx. She did have her ultimate up. She got taunted, and then Shen got one more shield off, so he lasted longer. And then also he got the ignite before the Jinx heal, so her heal really didn't do anything. On Jinx there, the Shen is pretty caught out in his position. I think you just shoot the ult there and either blow his flash or get the kill. You ended up trading 1-for-1. Echo gets the stun in mid though, but nothing will come of it.
Pretty even trade there. and they'll just trade. Annie will get a control word off the map, and they'll go back to CSing. Jax is kind of staying in this top area of the jungle. Really hasn't been down bottom too much. The good roam there by Shen, and that's going to be a dead Annie.
Yep, flash into the stun. One more auto. Oh, she gets
Ooh.
the stun off.
And she'll get the kill too.
And
And she got the
double
double
kill,
kill.
and she lives. Wow, great stun by Annie.
This is a 5-0 Annie. This is going to be scary. Pantheon
Yeah.
does have ult, but I do not think he's going to jump into this one.
Yeah, I'm not sure there if there was a little bit more mechanically that blue team or red team could have played that to finish the kill on Annie, but it was a very nice stun by her, and then the tower just does so much damage early. They finished the kill. Pantheon
Going-
all bottom though, and a TP from Echo. That's a dead
And he will
jinx.
get it on the back, and this is going to be a dead Leona as well. And Sivir will pick that one up. A 2-0 Sivir.
And that's what I like to see with the TP. Even though, because of the Pantheon ult, they probably would have won that anyways without Echo. He went down there, he supported his team, they got the kills faster, and now they're going to be able to pick up the Drake too. He doesn't waste that summoner spell.
A good play by red team. That will keep him in the game. About 2k down. Here comes Annie. It's going to hurt.
She only stunned
And-
Echo, and he was able to ult out. They get the dragon, and no one goes down to Tivers.
And that is a big shutdown for Sivir, who is now 3-0. She has 1,000 gold, just coming back from base. She's gonna be able to farm this wave and start putting the hurt on the bottom lane. This is gonna be Shen going in. Chompers are out, but Sivir is actually out of mana for this one, so Shen just has to abandon ship and get out of there. Leona's going to chase him down, but I don't think anything's going to come of it as no one's in the area. Zilean actually out farming Yorick at this point, 79 to 64. Not too bad, but we'll see how that grows. Actually pushing the tower down pretty well. As
Yeah,
he'll be
that-
going for Morello.
That ranged matchup is, like I said, really hard for the York, but York is doing a good job of keeping in CS range, so definitely not terrible lead going up in top lane, so it'll be interesting to see where that goes. There's been a lot of focus around the mid and bottom lanes, so we might just see kind of a stalemate in top until one of those towers goes down and we get some more team fighting going on.
Which I believe will actually be in benefit of Yorick if they start forgetting about him, because he'll just start mowing turrets.
Yeah, if he gets his ult out, he can really start pushing turrets fast, and he's actually, it looks like, going for the ZZ rot first, so
I
that'll
believe
make
that's
him
what
even
he
more annoying to go for.
A good
Ooh,
flash taunt there, and this is
And
going to be
the
a dead
Sivir.
Jinx. Oof.
really
Goodbye.
good engage by the red team there. Use that flash, get that engage going. Pantheon's down here to help. It's a 2v3. Leona going too far forward, and a good taunt by Shen. Almost got both, but just gets the one, but that's going to be plenty. Leona's slowed by the Chilling Smite, and down she goes.
Now, this is something to look at here. You saw that going into that fight, and still actually right now, Pantheon is one level below the Jax, but the Jax has not shopped in a while, as he has about 2,600 gold in the bank, which means Pantheon was actually 2 long swords ahead of him. One thing you can't forget, especially as a jungler, is you gotta go back and buy, because everything is a power up, and remember, you're competing against another jungler who is usually on the same path as you. So you get into a fight like that, and you're actually behind, even though you're up in farm and up in experience.
Zilean actually pushing York out of lane and taking the turret, so that's huge. Ooh, the flash
That
E
may-
missing from Leona, but kill
That is
going
going
to
to be-
Annie anyways.
She will, both of them actually will burn ignite on that
The
play. I
Shen,
believe.
yeah.
So miscommunication there, but Echo will stay down here for this one, as they will pink the river bush. And it's like we talked about here. Panthan's actually done a pretty good job of the early game, 1-0 and 2. He's keeping in the fights. He's decently strong right now. He has almost 2,500 in the bank, so he really needs to go buy. Jax really needs to go buy. He's got 3,300 now, which he's going to do right now, and he should be able to pick up the rest of his jungle item and part Triforce if he's going for that.
Yeah.
CZ Rod is actually in place for Yorick already, so he's already annoying.
Ooh, flash from Yorick. And he will get out with that. Puts the little cage around Annie. Tell her playtime is over.
But we did miss somewhere along the way. Zillion did grab top tower. Maybe I missed it. I don't know. I don't speak for both of us.
Yeah, he pushed Yorick out of lane with just health wise. Yorick was very low, and then he's just been pushing those minions in so constantly that he had the damage to take down that turret on a wave.
Alright, so you heard it here first. I'm blind as a bat. So actually Jax will go back and pick up some Ninja Tabi. His Sheen, his Phage, and that'll be it for the 3,000. So he's working on that Triforce, but he's picking up a little bit of armor along the way.
Yeah, Jax really just blue team is actually up in gold right now, but because of the 6 kills on Annie, a lot of that is on her. So blue team really kind of has to, if they get really good engaged by Annie, they can win team fights, but without that, they're really going to be hurting everywhere else around the map.
And this is going to be mid tower going down as the Rift Herald will be summoned, and that will be a half health. Goodbye. That's a fun thing to play against right there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Zillion is actually pushing hard top lane, and he is about to meet the whole squad.
yeah, maybe overstaying a little bit here. You've got the whole team coming in, but he has a speed buff, and I think he's just going to get out of there. And now red team sent 4 top lane, and blue team's actually going to go take a dragon off of that. Looks like we have an Inferno coming up in 8 seconds. Shen ult and Sivir ult coming out. They might be able to chase down, but they don't. Flash shield by Jinx gets her out of there. And now Leona's here, and they're coming back on the offensive. Misses the
Good
E,
flash.
but Sivir is stuck, and she is going to go down.
Be
Good
Shen getting out,
re-engage by blue team.
One thing the bot lane has done pretty well this game is when they do die, they're not giving up the double kill. So even though they're losing one, they're not making it the worst of the situation, which is always a good thing, especially in the bottom lane. You never want to give up a double kill. So there'll be a free Infernal Drake for the blue team, which is not going to make life any easier for the red team.
That is for sure.
It looks like be picking up either probably a Trinity Force for Yorick, if I had to guess. Correct?
Yeah, definitely a Trinity Force. I actually was surprised that he didn't just rush Trinity Force off the bat. That's what I see a lot of them do, but I think he just really wanted that ZZ Rot for pushing power in his lane.
Yeah.
And some of the resistance it gives.
So we're going to see Proto Belt on both the mid laners.
Yeah, that'll be really scary if Annie can find a really good engage with that. That is, adding that Proto Belt damage on top of the damage she already has, she can easily one-shot Echo and Sivir if they're caught in the wrong situation. Red team
Bot lane's
just...
going to try and take the turret, but Leona holds him off. And here comes Annie. And
Ooh.
Sivir actually doesn't hit her E in time, which means Annie gets a free flash kill.
Yeah, right there, the Leona ult hit Sivir. I don't know if her E was down or if she just didn't hit it in time, and then Annie flashed and followed up all the CC before she could E again. But a flash taunt to keep Jinx under tower. Great taunt by Shen. She just...
They will trade ADC for...
Yeah, you gotta be really careful going for those towers as an ADC. They can, if they engage on you, your team can't fight under a tower.
This has got to be so frustrating for Vic to play against.
Yep.
Every time you get it engaged, just
Here comes
speed
Jax
goes
as
away.
well.
And that's going to be a dead York.
York
The
does
hands
go
of
down
Jax.
top lane, and the rest of the team is bot. Sivir is up here though. She should be able to clear lane with her boomerang. Blue team really just with the Zillion constantly pushing top, they're really stretching the map for red team, making it hard for them to deal with it. Still people hovering around top lane. Red team, we really like Pantheon is pretty strong here. We really need to see Pantheon start to make some picks and catch people out, because that's really what his champion is so good at. If you're in a bad position against him, he can really kill you fast, and he has free CC. So
Be nice for him to get a ult, come down on the Annie, see if he can assassinate her before a team fight starts.
yeah,
Gonna
He
try for the
will.
Jinx.
she doesn't have flash here. He's got the slow. No, he didn't
He
auto
actually-
for the red buff slow.
He actually canceled his E there, I believe, as well. Gave a little bit of the damage away, but nevertheless, it takes Jinx kind of out of the fight. She won't be able to play as aggressive as she might like to. There'll be a nice taunt there by Shen. A flash out by Leona.
Ooh,
And that is a dead Sivir as Annie comes out of the bush. She's actually very low on mana, so I don't know how much they can chase this anymore. And they will just hop over the wall, use the blast cone. Nope. Use Tibbers.
Echo gets
That'll be
stunned
a-
out. He does get his ult, but he probably will go down after this.
He is out of mana. Does dodge the slow, but
Speed up onto Jax by the Zillion. He should have his Q up fairly soon to get that Echo out. Echo's still going. He doesn't want to
actually
give
gets
up
it.
quite yet.
I believe he got enough mana for his.
He's
oh,
gonna try
gonna
to
TP
teleport out, and he's gonna
will
make
get
it
out.
out. A great decision by the Echo there to get out, but blue team does take that opportunity to push
That is
mid.
a
Oof.
Dead Pantheon.
Yeah, they
Proto
take
Belt.
the turret and get the kill.
So I believe this is going to be a Ravenous Hydra coming in for Pantheon.
I actually think it's Death Stance.
Yeah, Death Dance.
Yeah, interesting buy from him. I actually would have liked to see a lethality item first. I think he needs the raw damage rather than a survivability item in this situation. Trying to catch out the York, he does flash out though.
And I believe York is actually going for Iceborne instead of Trinity Force, as he has the makings of the rest of the Glacial
Yep.
Shroud.
Yeah, I can understand that. It's getting later into the game. You probably need the resistance now more than the damage, now that you've
Yeah.
circumvented going the Triforce first.
Jax is still about 3,000. He has 3,000 gold again. He can complete his Triforce. I would do that as soon as possible. You can really just take over the game once you have that Triforce. That's the keys of the game for you as Jax. That's a dead Sivir. It's going to be Tibbers whacking away at Pantheon. Will he be able to get her? No.
Oh!
But they do eventually get her as she takes down 2 before that happens. And the flash in by Jinx will not get anything.
Yeah, this is
Will
just
be
a
a
really
2-for-1.
strong Annie. She already had her Zonias there to delay the time for her cooldowns to come back up. So not only did she get the Sivir, she got the damage out to take down the Pantheon as well. Really big from her.
She actually just picked up a Needless, so it looks like maybe a Death Cap coming out from Annie. So she's going to hurt even more. Just wait. Jinx is
Another
gonna
Infernal as well. 2 Infernals for blue team on top of an 11-2 Annie with a Jinx that will ramp up eventually and a Jax who's doing well. So blue team, they are getting really scary. I don't think red team is taking enough. They're 7,000 gold behind at this point. That's a lot of gold.
Especially for 20 minutes.
Yep.
And I think it's time for Jax to go back. He can pick up his Triforce. He could probably pick up the rest of his jungle item if that's what he wants to go next, or maybe a defensive item, or part of a defensive item. Looks like York will be going down again, and Tibbers is out, and Sivers running for her life. Flash in by Annie, and
Flash out by
flashing
Shen.
back out. Jinx is super far out of this fight still, but Pantheon is looping around. He's hanging out in the side jungle a little bit.
Sivir had to back for health. Annie's taking some poke, but she's not low enough yet. They just, even with her QW, you have to be so afraid of her burst damage, and really her ult isn't on much of a low cooldown. She has quite a bit. I actually want to see. She has, and it doesn't say on here how much cooldown she has. So I actually don't know how much cooldown she has. But she should have at least 20%.
If you press C on her, you'll actually be able to see. So
Okay. So she actually has, 20% cooldown right now, which Annie already having a low ult cooldown, having that 20%, her ult is going to be up a lot. So you have to be very careful of that. And she is just hiding here, waiting for someone to come through. They've blocked all the vision off of the Baron, so they're just trying to bait the other team into the Baron right now.
And to make things worse, you have to remember that you're going to have to kill her twice because the Zilean ult is there.
Yep.
It's going to be a double stun onto Pantheon, but he'll get away. Not for long. As that will be Pantheon going down. There'll be a 12-2 Annie coming through with the Q, I believe.
Yep. And they did actually kill Pantheon, so yep, they will actually turn on to the Baron.
Yep, especially with Echo being bottom lane and Shen having to go back, or going back. Easy Baron pickup here for the blue team.
Yeah, there shouldn't really be anything that can even try to steal this in this situation. Yeah, really good job setting up vision by blue team and then playing around it. That's one thing that sometimes people aren't patient with, is playing around it until they get the pick. Some people will start early. They waited until they got that pick and then they were able to do it. And they just, that's a free Baron. That's a huge gold swing, which didn't cost them anything.
Jax will hit 5K, I believe, before he makes his back.
Yeah, I was
Going
gonna
for
say
the
he has a
7K
lot of gold.
challenge. He will do his back now, about 200 shy of the 5K challenge.
So full Triforce, and
Finish the Triforce.
what else is he gonna get? And
He's
most
going
of a
to-
Titanic. Everything but completing the Titanic.
Got all the ingredients too.
Yeah.
So this is a very strong Jax now coming out of the base. Zilean is also very strong. No kills, but he's one-shotting the minion waves like it's nothing.
He's got
Annie
a
is
ton of
strong.
farm.
And we're hitting that. She's at 2.5 items right now, looking to hit that third item before Jinx starts really becoming super scary.
Good vision clearing by Leona, really making it hard for red team to do anything. Annie actually on her own though. Chenault comes out to save the Echo, but they actually don't go in on it, so Annie's actually safe. And Zilean's still pushing top. Jinx is getting mid lane pushing, so it looks like red team is just going to get stretched thin here with the Baron buff. And here's the Leona engaging on the Pantheon. He has to flash, but he still gets stunned, and he's going to go down.
It's a Tibbers, and that's it. Jax flash.
Ooh, kills him before he can
Jump.
ult.
And Jinx will just be happy to take her turrets and run this one down with her team.
Yeah, blue team is just so far ahead at this point. They have the better team fighting team while they're ahead. That just makes for a very face roll kind of situation. There goes one inhib, and an inhib turret went down on top, so they may just rotate for another inhibitor. And actually, they're going to rotate mid and probably take another inhib turret into another inhibitor, so
They
looks
said
like
we believe in you, Zilean. You got this.
Yep, they do take that turret, and now they're taking the other inhib, so if they rotate now, they can probably have a 3 inhibs down at 28 minutes.
You know,
Ooh.
I will say this is probably the first time I've ever seen split Brazilian, but I'm not opposed to it. And here comes the pop off for Jinx. She gets the resets. That's a double kill for her. Annie will pick up the other one, and this will probably be game right here.
Yep. So right there, they got a good stun onto Annie, so they went all in on it. But Annie had Zonia. She survived. Jinx was able to free hit, and what looked like a good engage turned out wrong, and they're just going to lose. Look at all the minions hitting, and that is going to be GG.
And so, at 28 minutes and 52 seconds, blue team will take down the red team with a score of 23-9, and really was a clinic put on by Annie.
Yeah, I think that on this one, red team, just once they got behind, they just got bled dry. They really couldn't do much. They were really struggling to find a situation where they could get back into the game. I saw a couple of red ideas, like an ult onto Sivir from Shen while she ulted forward to try to put them onto the Jinx. But then that got counteracted by blue team collapsed on it, and they ended up getting kills out of it. So it really seemed like blue team was doing a better job of keeping on top of red team's what they were trying to do proactively. So
I think it really all went wrong on the tower dive on Annie, where she ended up, I believe, getting 3 kills out of it.
it was
two kills
double
out of it?
kill, I believe.
Yeah. And from there on, she really just took over the game, was able to buy Proto Belt. Really, there's nothing you can do as a Sivir and the squishies that Pantheon doesn't have any resistance.
Yep.
It's just it's hard to play against something that can one shot you every 5 seconds.
Yeah, really good game by both teams, but yeah, they really just snowballed that game with Annie. Annie's very hard to deal with when she gets ahead.
So, as is obvious, player of the game will go to Annie.
Yep,
believe.
very much so. She definitely, it was a close game early. Red team was doing some stuff to keep themselves in it, but Annie got so far ahead and just started roaming around and really pushing that advantage. Really hardcore.
And my final tip of the game is Jax, go buy. Please.
Yeah, he needed to buy. There was a lot of positions where he did not need to, he was putting himself at a disadvantage by not spending the money he had.
And especially for a champion that really needs to get to that late game couple items.
Yep.
You don't want to put yourself any more behind than
Yeah.
your champion already is.
The second you have money for Triforce on Jax, you should be backing, because Triforce is such a huge spike for him.
Keys to the gates.
All right, let's jump back into homeroom, see what's going on.
All right.
Got their immune system from their father.
What up?